Welcome to Freed on Business. He grew up in South Florida, has been in business here since the early 90s, and has closed over $3 billion in deals. He's seen it all. He always has an opinion, and he's always ready to share it. Informed, entertaining, and connected, he has his finger on the pulse of South Florida's business community. He's Jim Freed, and this is Freed on Business.
I'm all dressed up today with my Mr. Two Bets tie, raising money for the University of Florida Alumni Association. I think we'll do that till the end of the year. That's pretty fun. So remember, everybody, go to the University of Florida Alumni Association and go get your annual membership. Gator Nation, give. All right. Hey, everybody, we've got a great show for you today. We're going to talk about how we make the sausage. I hate that term. We're going to talk with Rebecca Carlson, my head of social media. We're going to talk with Reagan Mendoza, my head of production. And we're going to talk about how we make me look good. That's right. You got to start out with something that looks good. Thank you.
Yes.
But we're going to talk about all the things we do, projecting personality, making sure we get the right people watching, what the content is, how we select the content, all that great stuff. So stick with us. We're going to start with the most important part, which is our sponsor, Warren Henry. We want to thank Larry Zinn. We would eventually get this paperclip off. We're going to thank Larry Zinn, Eric Day, and Warren himself, Warren Zinn, for being a sponsor for all these years. So we'll get right to it. Take it out here, then we're going to come back and make sure you're here to hear all this great content about how to project your image into the marketplace the right way. You know, Rebecca's in Chicago, and those are the Illini colors also, Rebecca. So that goes for both of us today. You can wear that tie, too. Now, I want to remind everybody we're South Florida's longest-running business talk show, and here we are today, talking business. Who's my favorite business person? Larry Zinn. Why? Because he runs Warren Henry, and he's just kind of cooking over there. When you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry, Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar. They're all great cars, and they all come with the Warren Henry advantage. What is that? Well, that means that you get great cars, and you also get the Warren Henry advantage. This list of great little things they give you. You get complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, and the 72-hour exchange. You take 3 days to make sure you like your car. I know something, you will like your car. So join me, my friends, my mom, and my beautiful wife, Vivian. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry. All right, I choose kindness every day. It's how I build my brand. It's what I build my brand on, love and kindness and caring. It's the most important things in today's world. And so we're going to talk about that on today's show. And remember, if I can help you with a residential mortgage, give me a call. If I can help you with a commercial mortgage, give me a call. I'm closing deals right now. I expect to get a term sheet here. It's Wednesday right before Thanksgiving. We're going to close that deal hopefully in the first week of December. That's right. It'll only take about 2 weeks to close that deal. So call me. That'll be a $2.5 million bridge loan secured by approved land. Call me at 305-773-6300. Also talk to a man, 90 years old, wanted a residential mortgage. We can help him too. So call me. Why? Because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we're back, and we're going to talk about projecting your image, your brand into the universe on social media, primarily LinkedIn, but we'll also talk about how we access and interact with all the other social media platforms as well. Today, I'm joined by Reagan Mendoza. He's our production guy. He's not going to look a lot, and he's really washed out because he's got his screen on and he's doing a lot of things right now. We've rocked Rebecca Carlson on. She's in her brand new setup at her house with her crappy little light. So Rebecca, we're going to start by talking about lighting and pixelation. Okay, we had this guy on a few weeks ago that thought he was the expert who charges $1,500 an hour. He tells me to consult on LinkedIn. He's an expert. BS. He was on the show. He was pixelated. He was horrible. He wouldn't even mention where he was working. He did it from a shabby looking conference room. It was horrendous. He's banned. Okay. But what he did was he showed how powerful LinkedIn can be, because he hid who he was behind LinkedIn and pretended he was the Wizard of Oz when he was really a munchkin. So what I want to do is talking about projecting images in the beginning. I think that the first thing you'd have to do is you have to have an idea of who you are and what you want to project.
Absolutely. Jim, self-awareness is so important. And every person has a story of how they got where they're going, and they have a desire to share their story, whether that's got some personal elements or if it's all professional. Regardless, that is what builds relationships, is that authenticity. And once you start digging into it, you can start developing content and start developing a message that really can resonate with the people who want to do business with you. They self-select. They already like you. And I think that is actually one of the things that you have done so beautifully during all of your years in business. And it has really accelerated in the past several months of really bringing that fresh approach of who you are.
Well, I was really lucky. I would say lucky, but it really wasn't lucky to be able to demonstrate to the entire world who I was by making incredible pleas and sacrifices using social media to find Vivian's kidney. That's what created the whole base. It taught me by complete repetition, thousands and thousands of tweets and emails and posts and everything else on how to do it. Then it worked. Woohoo! And I saw this stuff really works. Then the pandemic came. Okay, the pandemic came, everybody got locked up, couldn't talk to anybody, couldn't project who they are, couldn't shake a hand. I've gotten 4 business cards in 3 months, all socially distanced, all safe. And so how do you get to people? How do you say hi? People that want to hear from you.
Exactly.
We came up with LinkedIn.
Exactly. And you already had an existing ongoing social feed that covered the basics of content. So that's continuity, repetition, making sure that the messages that needed to be spoken, and we have two different distinct pools. One is your mortgage business, and one is, of course, this show, because we love this show and we love popularizing it and making sure that it's getting to all sorts of different people. But what we find is that different people follow you on different platforms. Different people engage with you on different platforms. So it's important to make sure that you're as expansive as possible, especially for you. Because of the nature of who you are. And we had those fundamentals really down, promoting the show, promoting the guests, promoting the mortgage business, promoting the deals that you've been doing. And then we added this year, because you took some initiative to start doing some video, we added ongoing personality, not just once a week. People don't have to wait once a week to hear from Jim Fried. They get to see Jim Fried authentically, alive, who he actually is on a daily basis. And that has really changed the dynamic of what is done on social media. And it's a great path to follow. It's a great indicator of ways that being authentic can lead to success by giving people a true glimpse of who you are.
Yeah, people ask me how I come up with that stuff. And before we talk about how I come up with it, I want you to know is at least once or twice a day, somebody calls me from out of the blue or likes me or texts me, somebody I haven't heard for a long time, and they tell me how much it means to them. I have a particular mentor that is a very high-level person in the international finance business. Suffice it to say that this is the guy that came up with the idea of a participating mortgage about 45 years ago. That's right. He's a smart guy. Well, his kid's a real estate lawyer in Tampa now. I haven't talked to him. He used to work for ESPN. He was into all that. So he's like a media guy. He loves it. He reached out to me. He referred me to somebody I already knew. So I know I'm doing a good job. And he was just nice. He says he loves my positive energy posts and he loves starting his day with stuff like that because everybody's so down and everybody's so angry. And how do I come up with it? Well, I'm just like everybody else. I wake up just as afraid and just as angry and just as frustrated as everybody else. Then, and that happens at about 4:30 or 5 with my stomach turning while I'm staring at the ceiling. Instead of praying to God for the next 2 hours to save me, I get up and do something about it. Okay, I get up and I start walking. And when I'm walking, what am I doing? I'm coming up with all my notes. I have legions of notes and ideas. What do I do then? I synthesize them. They become plans. They become answers. They become things. And no one's interrupting me, not the phone, not the text, nothing. I am watching the other people that are as crazy as I am that are up working out. I know there's like 3 of them. I see them in their house. You know, one guy's doing this on his life cycle. You know, there's a couple there with their little kid that are doing the bebops or whatever they call them there, the burpees. Then there's these people that are senior to me that walk up and down on their patio. Those are the 3 people that are up at the same time as me out of like thousands. But it benchmarks me. It shows me that I really am connected. I'm working, I'm feeling, and I come up with the sun. Sometimes I'm able to promote the sun coming up. I don't know what to do with LinkedIn stories yet, so that's what I'm doing. Hi, I'm starting my day. How about you? Then I started taking pictures of the exercises I do. Okay, I start 30 pictures of the exercises I do. We'll start doing that next. So then after I do that, I talk to my mom. My mom's a social worker. She's 83 years old. She can't go to her job anymore at the Mount Sinai. So she lays it all on me. She's tremendous. Hi, Mom. How are you? I'm great, son. How are you? You can't go wrong with that. Can't.
It's amazing.
Then I have one of my favorite clients. Well, they're all favorites. But this one I call him every day at 8 o'clock. I go, how are you, sir? He goes, I'm fine, sir. How are you? And we just talk. Hi, I'm sorry. You know, like that. You know, really, really fun. Like 2 minutes. And then I hang up and I do the post. Because by then I'm engaged, I'm fun. I've been surrounded by positive people that are involved in wanting me to be successful. By the way, the guy talking at 8 o'clock, that's the guy with the 2-week closed bridge loan.
Nice.
Yeah, well, what's the secret there? The secret's talk to your best client every day. Boom. Take that away. You can stop watching. Not really. Don't stop watching. I can't come up with anything better than that.
We haven't even gotten to our segments yet.
I'm sorry. Your segment's the whole thing. I talked about bad lighting. We have to have focus. We have to have the right energy. We have to do it regularly. What else is there? It's the whole thing. My notes from this morning. So you guys go. Interview me.
Becca?
Well, actually, you know, Jim, since you are the content guy, I mean, here's a good question for you. Does everybody have to make video like you do in order for people to resonate with them?
I don't think so.
Scared?
I don't think so. I saw a great thing. It was on Facebook today that Dan Solomon did. He's a leasing agent. He stood in front of his newest listing. He's just big face. Hi, I'm Dan. Took a picture and said, call me.
Yeah.
That's not a video. I saw it. It resonated. I remembered it 3 hours later, 4 hours later. To me, that works.
I would also say that video is not necessarily everyone's strong suit. Some people are very good writers and they're not necessarily, and because they're very good writers, they're not necessarily great in front of the camera, doing video or what have you. So I would say whatever it is, appeal to your strong suit. But I do think, especially in a time of, COVID and everyone being at home, that creating content, doing something consistently and putting it out in the world and out on social media is really important.
Consistency.
Yes.
Consistency. I don't feel tremendous every morning, but I do it because people are looking.
Well, let me ask you this, Jim, because this is something you and I have talked about, and it's something that I kind of do as well, is even if you wake up and you don't feel good every morning, isn't it through the process of your morning routine and the things that you do, doesn't it make you feel better? Like if you wake up feeling fearful or feeling, upset or whatever it is, isn't it starting your day and trying to start on with positivity? Doesn't that help you be positive, even if you?
Well, I would say I would even go one step further. I would say getting yourself out of bed and hitting the floor with your first foot is the first positive thing you do all day. How do you go wrong? You got out of bed. The Jews say a prayer. Thank you, God, for waking me up.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. I usually say that prayer. I do a whole thing in the morning. I pray. I do everything. I pray to God, I connect with the universe. I connect with my wife. My wife is my totem.
Right on.
I use her power. I take her power and I project that to the universe. It's not me. I'm just a person.
Yeah, man.
She's a totem. She's unbelievable. That's her in the background, the rainbow coming out of Miami Beach. I'm the little shadow next to it.
Right on.
Well, why don't we take a quick break? We'll come right back. Okay, we'll take a quick break. Make sure you project Rebecca on her ad, and then you guys are going to keep interviewing me. This is a great book. Keep interviewing me.
Let's do it.
Or coming soon, you'll be able to use it all to help yourself promote yourself. You better stick with us if you've got any desire to rock the social media. All right, this is where I tell everybody that we're South Florida's longest running business talk show, and I give all the credit to my good friends at Warren Henry. They've been sponsors since July 2012. How long is that? Woo! You go find an auto dealer with a sponsorship that long on a podcast. Ain't happening. Why do they do that? It's because of the fact that they make you feel like family, and we make it back, and we feel like it with them, and we project their brand. That's what we're talking about today. I'm a member of the Warren Henry family. I'm a honest, caring guy that just is out there every day doing things for the community. Just like Warren and Larry. Larry was on a couple of months ago talking about their thing that they set up with the schools here to get all the kids to be certified mechanics because they had extra space because of COVID. Now that's what I call a wonderful, wonderful person. That's just great stuff. So I usually talk about the ads and how great their cars are. The cars are great, but the people are terrific too. So I'm going to go off script here today, this one time, and I'm going to just say everybody should go to Warren Henry Automotive. I give thanks to them. They keep my family safe. They keep us feeling good. They're always there when we need them. What else is there in life? So go up to 151st and Biscayne. If you need service, go find Midday Star. If you need a car, you go look for Larry. They will take good care of you. So remember, always the best service, always the best price, always Warren Henry. Boom.
This is Becca Carlson from Carlson Integrated. You know, a lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
Wow, that's tremendous. I'm Jim Freed. I'm not as spunky as her. No doubt about that. Just call me if I can help you with some real estate capital, solve your real estate problems. Just need some good energy. I know I don't sound so heavy and hot right now, but that's because I'm trying to keep it in contained mode here. So call me if I can help you. 305-773-6300. I'm helping foreigners get financed. I'm helping high net worth investors get financed. Our specialties are jumbos, people over $500,000 and below $4 million. People think they can get financed right now, but they can't. It's not easy. Call me. I am your nexus for financing. And if you need commercial stuff, I'm closing that stuff 2 weeks at a pop. 305-773-6300. Your year-end closing is right here. Why call me? Because when you call me, it's always all about you. How about the change in energy?
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
Yeah, I was just showing I can go on low power mode if I have to. So listen, we were talking a little bit about being authentic. I just was. I was on a phone call the other day with a political consultant who said that the reason that Donald Trump was successful, even though his policies were questionable, was because of his ability to connect on an authentic way versus his original campaign candidate competition, Hillary, who came off as a polished politico. This time, Joe Biden came off as a real guy you have a beer with. That was the difference. So I am a real guy you can have a beer with. What do you guys think? What's the next thing you guys want to talk about on your list?
So I actually want to talk about Regan because I've gotten to work with Regan for almost a year now, and I don't even know your story. So Regan, how did you get started? How did you get in this business?
So I'm one of those guys that just kind of like, I partly designed it and partly fell into it. I'm from Chicago originally as well. Chi-town in the house. Yeah. But I went to school for audio production. So I was going for like music production, audio mixing, working in recording studios, doing all of that. After I was done with school and sick of Chicago winters, I moved down to Miami and interviewed at literally every studio down here. I went to about 40, 50, 60, 70 studios. Got a job at one. Finally, I was like the third string engineer. I was like the last guy on the list, but I showed up every day, and I would, if there's nothing to do, I would just kind of work on side projects for myself, just whatever, just to keep my hands on the machine and to keep working. After a few years, I made head engineer at that studio just from working and always being around and doing any job. And that was kind of the beginning of things, so I was working a lot. What we used to do is we used to do TV and movies during the day, and then we would do music at nights and weekends and stuff like that. And I mean, I just stayed working. I did 24-hour sessions sometimes if that's what it took. We would do like entire albums in a day. Like that was kind of what we were doing. And from doing that, we built a reputation out actually in LA and New York as being the place. If you had someone coming down to South Florida, they had to come to our studio to record, to do ADR, to do any on location stuff. Like we had that reputation from doing such good work. And because everyone comes down to go on South Beach, we were a 20-minute drive. They would send a car, so doing that, I got into a lot of video. I started doing a lot of video. As the studio work in general started kind of getting smaller, I was looking around. I started shifting. So I went into radio because I thought, well, I already know sound and things like that. So I got into radio. And again, I started just working weekends. I'd work at the studio during the day. I'd work radio on the weekends. And just worked and did anything, if they needed an extra pair of hands, that was me. And through doing that, that's how I met Jim. That's how I met a lot of people at the station. And again, I mean, I just stayed focused and stayed, doing the best job that I could with whatever was kind of put in front of me. And then the station eventually was sold and closed. I actually started a side business maybe about 3, 4, 5 months or so before that, which was, again, doing what we're doing, which is video production, audio production, and helping people with their branding and things like that, and creating productions. What I know, it's what I've been doing for 20 years. It's what I went to school for, the whole thing. When things went south at the station, Jim was one of the first people I called, because Jim and I had already been talking about maybe doing something on the side, and we both were kind of, wanted to do something together. We're kind of not super satisfied with where we were. And Jim was one of the first people I called. And I think we spoke on a Wednesday. met face to face on a Friday. This was before COVID. Met face to face on a Friday, and then did our first show together that following Wednesday. So within seven days, we were working together. I was bringing all my equipment to Jim's house in like a backpack and a bag, and I would set
amazing.
I would set everything up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
it was amazing because it was a natural transition that was occurring in the world, and we didn't know it.
Yeah.
And I was resistant and I was uncomfortable, but I needed to be flexible and open-minded.
But this was something that we had even talked about at the station, which is we were talking about how important it was to stay sort of the sign of times, to stay with what was evolving. So for me, I really saw as having a mobile studio was going to be really important. Being able to bring a recording studio, a video studio to someone's office on location, all of these things I saw as being really valuable. And it was even something that I had presented to a lot of people who didn't necessarily see the value in it at the time. And Jim and I started working together, and within a short amount of time, we were doing the show, regularly. So that's kind of I have a number of other clients as well, obviously. And that's kind of my story. That's how how I got into it. And then when COVID happened, then it was like, okay, well, let's learn how to move all of this to the web and quick and do live streaming. So yeah, I mean, I spent like probably the first 6 months of 2020 just on my heels, just trying to block just trying to figure everything out as it was, probably like all of us, right? But just trying to figure out everything as it was coming at me. And then once I was able to kind of get in front of it, and kind of get ahead of it a little bit and felt a little bit comfortable. I kind of stay, like I have a very consistent schedule as well. Like even if I don't have any deadlines or have any projects, I kind of clock in, I sit down at my desk at the same time and I do all of that and I learn different things. And it's always valuable because within a week or 2 weeks, someone's asking me to do that thing that, that I learned on, when I didn't have time. It's always, so that's kind of my approach. Is I take that sort of approach of always trying to learn something, always trying to find something new, trying to push yourself a little bit. And it always pays off. It's never the wrong thing.
All right. So while you were talking,
right,
I was doing a text. I was getting a text. The text is from the grandson of one of the biggest developers in town. It goes like this. Hi, Jim. So-and-so here. I saw some of your inspirational posts on LinkedIn and thought of you. I appreciate the time we spent on the phone together a couple of months ago. I was super busy with school and fraternity work and didn't have a chance to follow up. Thanks for your time and have a happy and inspiring Thanksgiving. I wrote back, you're so cool. I'm always here for you. Let's have a Zoom call next week. I give thanks for texts like this and people like you.
Aww.
Yeah.
Man, he's an amazing kid. I wondered what happened to him. His dad asked me, what happened to him? His grandfather asked, what happened to him? I said, he's a kid in school in COVID. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
3 months later, out of the blue. Boom.
Yeah.
And all because of the work that we do together.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, when Regan was talking, I actually thought about one of your old kind of slogans that you came up with when we first started working with you, and that was value system alignment. That was working with people who share values. And I think all of us are committed to growth, committed to learning new skills, to developing, to embracing adaptability and change. And I think that's one of the reasons we three work so well together.
Well, I would agree with that. Oh, Greg, you want to say something?
No, I agree with it too. I think, from our meetings when we have our masterminds, our powwows, there's never really a lot of no's. There's always a lot of, well, how could we do that? If we think of something, it's not really like, well, you could never do that. It's always like, okay, cool. Let's work backwards. Let's figure out how we can reverse engineer and make that idea possible.
That's a great place to take a little break. We'll sell some cars. We'll come back. And then it would be terrific if you talked about how you push this out on all the different streaming services, the different nuances of them, the different people that watch. Could be Becca's topic. So let's come back. We're going to talk about some more great stuff that you can use today to start building your personal brand and live the #entrepreneur life. Boom. right, everybody. This is where I go. This is South Florida's #1 and longest running business talk show. C-Pace guy is going to join us and talk about how he's using everything to build his brand, too. I thought it'd be a nice addition. You could ask him a lot of questions. I'll kind of be silent about that. Hey, everybody. Thanks to Larry and Warren and Eric at Warren Henry Automotive for being our sponsor for 12, now going on 13 years. Love those guys. If you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar. Up in Gainesville, they sell Audi. Down in the Keys, they sell them all. What do they have in common? They're all great cars. They all come with a Warren Henry Advantage. That means you get complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, the 72-hour exchange. What you really get is you get to be a member of the Warren Henry family. You get treated like gold. You get recourse if there's a problem with your car. You get to work with Maytay Stark and the service line, who's tremendous. They got all kinds of specials. Go to their new store at 151st and Biscayne. You'll see the future of auto retailing. So join me, my mom, and my beautiful wife, Vivian, lots of my friends, too. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be, too. Always the best price. Always the best service. Always Warren Henry. All right, everybody, we're awesome here today. I'm Jim Freed, and you call me for real estate capital. Residential mortgages, closing them all the time. Just got a 10-day approval. My man, Ed Cairo, he's the man. He gets it cleared. And if you need commercial, I've got great creative financing. We'll even do deals with C-Pace guy down there. So call me at 305-773-6300. Why? Because when you call me, you don't just get positive energy. It's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, Ed Cairo's trying to call in to give us an Ed update, but he's still on the phone closing deals. God bless him. God bless America. Now, we're on with my favorite LinkedIn mentor, Adam Lipkin. Adam, welcome back. You're the
LinkedIn
trademark
mentor.
hashtag C-Pace guy.
Hey, guys. Hey, Jim. Hey, Regan. Hey, Becca.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, you too.
And your
All
puppy.
right, now, Becca, you were taking us somewhere where we went to
Penny.
break. Oh, wait, guest appearance.
We got the all-star, little
Guest
Penny.
appearance. Como
She's
su
like,
nombre,
I can't be
señor.
bothered right now. I can't be bothered.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Wants to know when lunch is.
Okay, Beck, where were we before we were so kindly interrupted?
Well, we were talking about your show and we talked about how it works on multiple platforms. But I think that rather than going in that direction right now, we should talk since we've got Adam.
Okay.
Jim
Adam,
actually
you've been broadcasting live on LinkedIn Live for quite some time now. How's that been going, and what have you seen as you evolve?
Completely inconsistent, man. I got to tell you, that's probably the biggest thing that somebody could take a page out of your book. I mean, where are you at now? 1,000 episodes at this point, over like
587, I think. Really,
it's you got to create some small goals. Like for me, I think I did 4 episodes and then had a baby and then kind of life happened, but it's a big goal of mine to get back into it after Thanksgiving, to get onto a weekly schedule. I think you do it great. You put it in the schedule. You have it as a go-to Wednesdays at noon. It's the smartest thing people could do. Set with like a basic goal once a week. Otherwise, you set too high of a goal. You say, I'm going to do LinkedIn Live every day, and then you don't do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then you feel bad for not doing it, and then that makes you want to not do it more. Oh, well, I've done a week, I haven't done it. Now it's been 2 weeks, and it becomes discouraging. But I like that. A
100%.
small goal.
I think also it's important. One of the things you've been struggling with, Adam, is your background in your presentation. Like from walking down the beach and schwitzing. I like your background now. It's very clean. Very clean.
You actually beat me to it, Jim. I think that I'm going to play right into that with the live. It's real. it's almost like when people, don't get me wrong, like I think the edited videos have a place and I think they're very cool, but I think there's something that people appreciate, which is the rawness of real. It's live. It's like, hey, this is me. I'm just riffing. You're great at it. I got it. And then I also, frankly, on the background side, I like just having this real background. It's like my bookshelf and, I'm a reader, kind of highlights, I have some pictures in the back, but I've kind of defaulted to this typically for my backgrounds these days. And the only time I would do a green screen, and I'm still dabbling with it, but as if I want to do something creative and maybe do some presentation. But I like this a lot when you have just a clean standard background. So
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I just use mine.
And technically, I know that's your background, but yet that is a green screen with technically the view out of your home.
Totally.
So you kind of did a neat little hybrid, of course, right?
Well, I like to say that I love being at the end of the rainbow.
Yeah.
It's tremendous. I actually sent this to the Miami Beach Convention and Visitors Bureau. They loved it. Bill Talbot. I love
beautiful.
that.
I mean, that's your view, man. I love it.
It's
very cool.
I love that view.
What do you guys think? I'd love to hear, like, because Jim, you've been active now with the live on. Was it been 2 months or a month?
Yeah, we're talking about this before we went on. First, we talked about background. Background and lighting, and I beat the crap out of everybody about looking green or looking purple, about having a crappy little thing like this for $100. You can get the fabulous stuff. Yeah. And then we talked about camera. But really, I would like for Becca and Reagan to give their opinion.
Well, just real quick, just for anyone who's listening, the lights are Neewer. That's Neewer. Jim has the 2-piece 660 bulb LED set. You can get them on Amazon. I highly suggest them. Jim has them. I don't. That's the difference. And
what? No, look at the difference.
It really is. That's
lighting is important. I'll tell you, I struggled with that. I have like these two. Let me see if I'll show you what I got. But I got these. This is like I got these on Amazon, and frankly, they don't work. What I need the standing ones. Yeah. Because if you have these small ones, you got to create like a table or something. And so what I would do if I'm going to do it in the future is I would get the 2 standing lights, project them on the green screen. But yeah, the lighting's, Regan, I mean, this is your background. It's so critical because if you don't, you get all these shadows and the lights are off. So
trying to see Jim's lights, the ones I suggested, which are the ones that you're describing as well. It's the same.
Jim was just doing a little Harry Potter magic there. I was kind of seeing you in and out, right?
Lights out of nowhere. But yeah, it looks like you got a lot of good natural light coming in right now, which is great. But as we all know, you can't depend on natural lighting.
Oh, let me show you this too. I'm gonna do like a little show and tell here. 1 second.
Oh, look at you! I get up now. You got to get up. What kind of chair do you have, Adam?
The best thing that I would tell you though is
the puppy.
What's that?
I want the puppy back.
The puppy's back. This is the best. You literally could just pop this up, and having a green screen that literally just tracks out, and then I pop it down. I literally put it right under a bed. I mean, it's so simple, and it's so much better than there's these green screens, and I could send you guys the link. Well, I say this one might have been like $160 or something on Amazon, but it's just so easy to break down. I think that's a big thing that people have green screens and they have to set it up, and they occasionally even have to I don't know, not iron it out, but it seems like sometimes there's creases. Whereas this one is wrinkle free. You literally pop it in, pop it down. It's just super simple. I really like it.
I remember when you started working with that, you told me about it. This is great. Talk about authentic and natural. This is a freaking workshop.
And especially those are great, especially at home. Anything that you can break down and put underneath a bed or put in a corner when you're working from home or in a home office, or even at your regular office where you're doing business, 40 hours a week and only 1 hour a week you're doing a podcast or whatever. It's really, portability is extremely important. It's really something to take into consideration.
Which is one thing on that note, I still though feel that for the most part, unless you're using you're going to do advanced editing, I'm almost I don't really see the green screen actually helping much unless you just don't love your space and you're like, you know what, I got a lot going on and, maybe I have kids coming in and out or who knows what, although frankly, that's even real too. I saw some pretty funny things recently on Zoom calls where, some people just run with it and they're like, boom, let the little kid in. So I think just having like a background that you can kind of create a little bit of like Regan, I like what you got there, shelf to the side, just something basic is probably what I would more opt in these days if you're doing like a video call than a green screen.
Yeah. Isn't it funny, speaking of like kids and dogs and things like that, isn't it funny? Remember that viral video that happened? It was like 2 years ago or something like that. And it was the guy on like CNN.
Like grab the kids away.
Yeah, his kids came in all happy and the mom came in and grabbed him and ran out of the room. And now that happens, like it happens so often that it's not even a thing anymore. It's like, yeah, of course your kids are going to come into the video.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's a sign of times, and it's, things have shifted, and what
it does is it shows I'm just like you.
Yeah,
it's just nice that it's okay. I hate to say this, but if it was like back then when you mentioned it, it would have been so taboo. Whereas now it's like, all right, it's cute. If anything, it's endearing. That you see, the kid came in. It's nice to see that there is that shift that a lot more people are just like, oh, you put a smile on your face. You saw the kid come in, the dog. It's definitely that now compared to 2 years ago. Would have been like, oh my God, why don't you have your place in order or whatever? It's just crazy. Right. So
it goes to the whole thing about being flexible, open-minded, and being able to handle the dynamics that are going on right now. And it shows what you can do in stress in business too. I think it's extremely important to be able to project if you're calm.
Yeah.
What have you guys seen? Because I feel like, you obviously we're all in this now for 7 months. Jim, I know you've really just gone all in on, what's great about you is you've already been doing this for so long that it's kind of your wheelhouse. And I think you just kind of updated the format. But what have you guys seen? Like what's been working? What do you think you're trying to improve on? I'd love to hear it.
Well, we've actually been talking about this because, and I'm going to go open kimono. Okay. When we started, we were getting like 5 or 10 people. Then I talked to you and I went to a couple of LinkedIn things and I saw it go up to a few hundred, sometimes 1,500 or whatever. It's come back down to being a couple of hundred to a few hundred. And then what we found is that when we promote them and push them as text only out of Creco AI, we're getting to 300, 400, 500, 600. My Thanksgiving thing got to like 200. So we're trying things out, video versus text. Lots of hashtags versus not a lot of hashtags, talking to people, asking them below the text. I'm really experimenting now on how to gas it up again because I really don't know. And you and I have had this discussion too.
Yeah.
I'm really working hard to be authentic and not trying to get Gary Vaynerchuk's attention to promote me. Not that that's bad. Not that that's bad, but I'm trying to do it a different way because I don't give a shit. I don't care about most of the world. I care about mostly the people I know and having them know what I do and having them call me when they're ready. I only need like 300 or 400 people every day as long as it's the right 300 or 400 people. And it apparently is when I'm getting text like from this kid from UF. I know I'm getting out there.
Well,
I think that the live is where it's at. Sorry, go ahead, Rebecca. What did you say?
Well, I was going to say, I think it's important to note that Jim has 7,000 followers. So the fact that it only reaches a small percentage of the people who signed up to follow him, that's, I think, where one of the key fundamental issues that we're trying to explore is, because certainly if you don't have a large number of followers and you only get a couple hundred views, that makes sense. It's correlative, but again, he's got a strong follower base because people like him and they want to hear from him. So why aren't they?
Yeah.
I think, Jim, you also touched on something that's important to mention, which is experimenting. So your content, for the most part, is it's about authenticity and you're promoting your brand and you're promoting your services. And then where the experimentation is coming in is the different ways of addressing that content and promoting that content. For instance, we just started doing LinkedIn Live for, a couple months now, 2-3 months, whatever it's been, but we were heavy on Facebook before then. Now we're starting to go onto YouTube. Before that, we were on radio. I mean, so all along, it's just kind of as things are working, that's great. And we kind of write it out as things are working and we all celebrate and everything's great. But then we have to come back to an experiment stage. So we have to kind of break it back down again and sort of build things up and try new things to sort of keep growing and keep expanding.
This is great.
I think LinkedIn is definitely where there's an incredible amount of attention. And especially for like Jim, your audience, my audience, all of ours right now, frankly, there's just such a mindset when you think about you go on LinkedIn to network specifically. I mean, there is a mindset that you want to build a network. You want to create opportunities and possibilities. So I think the show is great. And I think you should just double down on doing it on LinkedIn because there's just going to be more and more of a focus on live, in my opinion. You know, you got a good format. You bring in a draw through the guests that come on. You already have, tons of guests you come on. I love the format. And I think all I would do maybe is what's great about the LinkedIn Live is, do you guys use StreamYard
What I was hoping we could go that route.
Let's do this. Hold on. Let's take a break. Well, sorry, Becca, I got loud. Let's take a break. And then let's talk about the multiple streaming services, which is where I was at the beginning of the segment. Okay. So I got to sell some cars for Larry. He's going to pay for this. And I also want to talk about maybe we do an individual special interview for 5 or 10 minutes once a week. That's a great idea. Lipkin, your smarty pants. Back after this, more tremendous ideas from a lot of other people. And oh, by the way, I do want to say one thing. If you notice, I surround myself with experts and I have enough self-confidence to take their advice. Back after this. All right, I'm back. And I also want to talk about the music, Regan, even if we just talk about it for 30 seconds. I think it's a good thing to talk about the issues we've had with the music. And now we got our co-star back with Lipkin. All right, everybody. Hey, this is South Florida's longest running business talk show. High five to me. Adam, you'll get there. You'll be the second longest. I promise.
Dude, I got to tell you, I mean, major respect. That's incredible to go. Is it 10 years, 13 years? How long has it
13.
been? It's amazing. It's amazing.
I can't believe it either.
You were definitely way ahead of your time. And I think now is when it's going to really start to, it's going to pop at another level. I look forward to having this conversation with you guys November of 2021. God willing, we're way past this
pandemic. We're already on. You'll be on the same
I'll tell you, it's very nice to be able to think. I think there's a lot of optimism that in a year from now, we're going to be past this pandemic. We're getting back to more of a normalcy. But with regards to what you're doing, I think there's going to be so much more attention towards these types of channels. And I think so many more people are interested in these micro niche viewings, you know, where we're not going to like network news. We're going to tune into Jim or so-and-so and watch what he's doing on live on this time. And so I think that's it. I think you just go all in on it, even another level.
We will. But first, we got to sell some cars. I went sideways on my format. All right, everybody, when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you see how good I am at the radio thing? This is fucking great. Oh, this is great. Oh, by the way, that same political consultant said if you drop the bomb occasionally, it's okay. It shows you're a real person. Everybody drops the bomb. When you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. Look how ragged it is. I'm doing so long. Look at that. It's my lucky charm. When you buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry. I love those guys. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar. Up in Gainesville, what do they have? Audi. In the Keys, all of them, including Jeep. I love the Jeep store down there. They're all exceptional cars. They all come with the Warren Henry Advantage. Complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, the 72-hour exchange. You can swap out your car if you don't like it after 3 days. So join me, my friends, and my beautiful wife, Vivian. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be, too. Always the best price, always the best service, always great vibes at Warren Henry.
Hey, this is Becca Carlson from Carlson Integrated. You know, a lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
This is so tremendous. How could somebody not want to be part of this team? This is what it's really all about, just projecting the happiness and good vibe. And the end of the rainbow part I love. Hey, everybody, give me a call. I'm at the end of the rainbow. That means I got I just thought of this. You're a pot of gold for your home loan and your commercial real estate deal. Is that tremendous? That was tremendous.
Well done.
Thank you so much. Right off the top of my head, boom, out of the park. So give me a call at 305-773-6300. Link in with me, hook me up. You can find me anywhere. I love saying this part. Google me. Every other Jim Fried on the planet hates me. They're on page 4. They're behind fried green tomatoes and fried chicken. I'm on top. So call me. This is why. All my social people. Let's get together. Let's share some good energy. Why? Because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Fried on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Fried or at Fried on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Fried1. Now, back to your host, Jim Fried.
All right. Everybody always wants to know about my secret on social media, so here it is today. I'll say it again. I'm surrounding myself with experts, and I'm listening to their advice. Adam Lipkin, experimental extraordinaire, trademarked as the C-Pace guy. He's the man. I follow him, I watch him, and I take notes. Oh, okay, I told you. All right, Reagan Mendoza, he's the guy that does my production. And Rebecca Carlson, I bounce my great ideas off of her, and she tells me if I'm nuts. So, back to it. We're on the streaming services. Talk about how you distribute the content, Reagan, Mr. Mendoza.
Yeah, so this is something I kind of wanted to talk to Adam about. So right now we currently use Restream, which I enjoy. It was easy for us to set up and get going. I mean, I think once we decided that we want to start multi-streaming and bringing everything live streamed, I think, we did it the next week or something like that. But I'm starting to see the advantages in switching over to StreamYard. And a big part of it for me is we can still multi-stream, which is great because I really like the idea of doing one show and hitting as many outlets as possible. So that's a big thing to me, because I think that you have to go where people are. So if people are on Facebook, you have to be on Facebook. If people are on LinkedIn, you have to be on LinkedIn, and we can do it in a way that doesn't overextend ourselves. The thing that's really appealing about StreamYard to me is that we do a lot of production. I do a lot of production on the show for Jim, elaborate, intros and opens. And you probably can tell I'm like the guy that does all the, rejoiners and now back to Jim Fried, all of that.
Got that voice.
Yeah, it's that radio voice, right? But and so we do bumpers and I do all sorts of things. Now I'm really trying to switch from the idea of like, this is a radio show, it's audio only, and you kind of see us, to being more of a TV show. So now we'll see the bumpers going out, we'll see the open. So that'll all be part of the visual experience as people are watching us on LinkedIn. Now that's something you can kind of incorporate pretty easily into StreamYard. Is that correct?
Direct, yeah. I was going to ask you, like Restream, how do you get on LinkedIn Live through that?
The same way. You just, as long as you're LinkedIn Live approved
okay, got it.
Producer, then you just set it up as a channel the same way you would YouTube or Facebook or anything like that. For anyone who's listening who doesn't know what we're talking about, Restream.io is the website, is the service. It's extremely easy to set up and very intuitive, and I don't get paid for saying that.
Yeah, and then it's StreamYard, and then StreamYard.com, and also I don't get a toaster if you guys sign up, so also just check it out,
It'd be nice StreamYard.
Hey, listen, but what really is going on is
StreamYard.com/Adam Lipkin. No,
real tips here, though. This is real tips. This is real practitioner knowledge. Becca, what's the trick that you have?
So one of the pieces when we're streaming, it's interesting because we also, of course, Jim has a website, and that website we're trying to keep with up-to-date information. So every week, Regan, when he pushes it on Restream, he sends me a link to the live, which I then embed in the tune in page on Jim's website. So we have like all of these processes and all these pieces that have to happen. And then, of course, subsequent to the show, we need to get it on the podcast platforms, right? So that's the next step. So after we record everything and, we've got our full live recording, Regan sends all the audio, which we then upload to Buzzsprout, which distributes it to all of the podcast platforms.
Like
so
which ones?
Like Apple,
Spotify,
iHeartRadio. I've actually played the Freedom Business Show on iHeartRadio on my TV in my living room.
Yes.
Like
No
the
way.
iHeartRadio Roku channel. Yes, my children were mortified. I was on that particular episode. They didn't think that was cool. They thought it was cringy.
Well, your kids are at that age though, where everything that you do,
Mom's not cool.
it'll come back around.
Hey guys, I'll just tell you, like, I like simple and easy.
Yes.
And so what I like about StreamYard is I just, I was just like looking to see what the destinations are. So for everybody out there, I mean, you guys all know this, but right now we're talking and we're going to stream this out through these social media platforms. And there's this third-party programs that exist that allow you to do it.
Right.
So what I'm just looking at right now is I have Facebook, I have LinkedIn, which is I'm most interested in. I have YouTube. Those are like my three main ones that I want. Periscope, which you get Twitter through it. I don't really do much on that, but I know you guys do. Right. Twitch, and then an RTMP server, which allows you to do it to basically like a website or wherever else.
Right.
But I just love the fact that if you just do one broadcast, you get it out to all those places. You also could download that and you could chop it up however you want. You could do the audio of it. You could take bits of it, take a 1 minute or 2 minute bit, put it on LinkedIn. So I just find that it's very simplified. And then even have you guys, Regan, have you been on it yet? Have you seen the internal?
So I've set it up for the show, and I've been going through it and learning it little by little because I'm actually ready to switch and start using it maybe about a week or two. So we're going to be doing some different stuff.
Okay, really deep, really technical, really for three people. Okay, so listen, let's kind of wrap it up here because I think that's really the most important thing that we've done is what I just did. I just exhibited all of our personalities in once. Okay. You're the technical guy. She's the marketing person. He's the entrepreneurial thought leader.
I'm up
the
top,
guy
man.
You're over here on mine.
Because you're on my
You're over here on mine.
I'm up top.
You're number one.
You're down there.
You're number one with me,
Adam.
Adam. You're number one with me. So, the other thing we didn't mention was getting people to help us on our LinkedIn pods. We'll talk about that in the future and how you wear everybody out. And it's not a really good idea. You like that, didn't you, Adam?
Only if you do it the way Jim does it.
Hey, I'm a beast. I'm a beast. I'm a beast. I don't care. I'm relentless. That's what makes me special. Mwah. So listen, you everybody watching, if you got to the end, you learned a whole lot today. I want to thank everybody for being on the show today. I want to thank my good friend Adam Lipkin for popping in. I want to thank Ed Cairo for not coming on the show, but closing a loan for me while he was on the phone. I want to thank Rebecca Carlson for always helping me think right and good. And I want to thank Reagan Mendoza for finally coming out of his shell and opening up his mouth and telling us who he really was. Man, we got to talk some more. All right. This is Jim Fried. I want to give a shout out to everybody we love. We call them the first responders, the healthcare heroes. I call them people on the front lines. I want to Creco AI. That guy's pumping my content. Carlson Integrated's making my content. Reagan, you need a name so I can call you something on my out. Turkel Brands, Bergstrom Center for Real Estate Studies, and of course, Warren Henry Automotive. Go to our Facebook page and all the social, like us, face us, all that other good stuff. Tweet us, Twitter us, whatever. Well, money's calling. Got to go soon. Go to our community.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Hi, yeah, I'll send them to you. Give us feedback and comments. Tell us who you want to hear from. At Jim Fried at Fried on Business. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, website, Fried on Business. If you missed us, we'll be up a couple minutes probably. We'll be on next Wednesday at noon because we love doing this. I forget who's on. Oh, it's the Tech Show? Tech Show. Oh, we're going to rock the world. Oh, you thought this was good. Now I'm going to quiz that guy and how he's getting the word out so good. Jim Fried for Fried on Business. Why do I like doing this? Because I love doing this. You can see why. Remember, the person wants to do something, finds a way, the other finds an excuse. Now go out there and make it happen. God bless you. And God bless, I'll say it this way, United States of America. See you next week.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Mwah.